This conference will now be
Good.
recorded.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to call to order the meeting of the Chesterfield Township Committee on May 14th. We're going to start with our flag salute and moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sharon, can I ask you for the sunshine statement and roll call, please?
Sure. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting has been given by filing written notice with the township governing body and the township clerk, mailing written notice to the township's official newspapers and the township website, posting written notice on the official bulletin board in the Chesterfield Township Municipal Building, and providing notice to all who have requested same. Ms. Batra?
Here.
Ms. Codestale?
Here.
Mr. Lika?
Here.
Mr. Pamphili?
Here.
And Ms. Hughes?
Thank you. Are there any agenda matters requiring recusal?
I have none.
Seeing none, can I get a motion in a second on the approval of the minutes from the April 23rd regular meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving into public comment, this is public comment part 1. We will have another at the end of the meeting. You have 3 minutes to talk, and please start with your name and address. Can I get a motion and a second to open public comment?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Carl Braun, I live White Pine Road, and it's nice to be here. Thank you. I'd like to offer some testimony on two issues. One is, I believe we're supposed to talk about the parade and celebration of the 250th. I would ask that you maybe move it up on the agenda for us old folks who don't watch TV. And the second issue is on the HPC, just some comments, observations that I've had over the years. So if both those things could be amended. Carolyn is also here to talk about the HPC issue as well. And of course, Kate on the parade. Could you entertain any of those?
I think we're going to move through our agenda fairly quickly, if you don't mind hanging out for 20-25 minutes, and
Sure.
we'll just get to them at the end.
Okay, Dean?
Thank you, Tim.
Yep.
This is the last meeting.
Hey,
Oh,
Jordan.
no, we didn't.
Hello, everybody. So, I was Friday last week, the sign project has been approved by the Sky Council. So I can now start fundraising and getting the signs.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
basically what we'll be doing is we get signs, we will be going around and replacing all current signs up on county and township roads. And if there's township roads without a sign or pole, we will be replacing, we'll be adding a pole and a sign. We will not be doing any county roads because we don't have the time to get approval from the Burlington Council. But we will be ordering extra, so in case you guys get it and later on get approval for those, you guys can set them up. And if anyone here wants to donate to the signs, you can write a check to the Boy Scouts 255.
Could you email Karen? Be glad. I just won't remember it now. Where to set? That's great. Where to drop it off and all that. If you give us mailing addresses, that'd be nice too. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Awesome. We're excited to see them. Any other public comment from the room? Anybody online? Seeing none, can I get a motion and a second to close public comment part 1? Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving into our ordinance for our public hearing, ordinance 2026-11, an ordinance adding chapter 113 to the code of the Township of Chesterfield entitled filming to establish regulations governing filming activities on public and private property. Can I get a motion and a second to open the public hearing for the ordinance?
Aye.
Okay, is there anybody who wishes to speak on the ordinance? Anybody online? Being none, can I get a motion and a second to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any comments from the committee?
I have none.
Then can I get a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
And Karen, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Ms. Batra?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes, or wait, not that way. Ms. Codestale?
Yes.
Mr. Lika?
Yes.
Mr. Pamphili?
Yes.
And Ms. Hughes.
Yes. All right, we have no ordinances for introduction tonight. We're moving on to a public hearing on the budget amendment as discussed at our last meeting. This is resolution 2026-0501, resolution to amend the 2026 approved municipal budget. There were certain items in the budget that's really pretty technical that had to be moved in and out of the cap with the recommendation from the finance board. Can I get a motion in a second to open the public hearing on the budget amendment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody who wishes to speak on the budget amendment? Seeing none in the room, is there anybody online?
No.
Seeing none, can I get a motion and a second to close the public hearing on the budget amendment?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that concludes the public hearing. On to the resolution. Can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution 2026-05-01?
Motion. Second.
Does this need to be roll call since it's
We should,
budget?
we should do the roll call, yes, Mayor.
All right, can we do roll call for this in the next one, please?
Yep. Ms. Batra?
Yes.
Ms. Codestale?
Yes.
Mr. Lika?
Yes.
Mr. Pamphili?
Yes.
And Mayor Hughes.
Yes. All right, resolution 2026-0502, resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2026 municipal budget. I think this is the first time I'm smiling as we're adopting a municipal budget sitting up here. I won't belabor it. I know we had a public hearing last time. We've spoken about it in detail. I am proud of the budget that we ended up with. I know everybody up here put in a lot of time and work to be able to get to a point where we're not raising taxes on the municipal portion of the budget on our residents. We were able to cut a lot of funding from it. But able to maintain our services, able to have a really fiscally responsible, healthy budget that I'm proud to have been a part of. Any comments from the committee before we?
No.
All right, can I get a motion and a second on resolution 2026-05-02?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Batra?
Yeah.
Ms. Codestale?
Yes.
Mr. Lika?
Yes.
Mr. Pamphili?
Yes.
And Mayor Hughes.
Resolution 2026-0503, resolution of the Chesterfield Township Committee adopting an affirmative marketing plan for affordable housing within the Township of Chesterfield. So this is a regional marketing plan. It's required under law for us to adopt this plan to ensure that all of our affordable housing is affirmatively marketed to the appropriate households. Dominic, I see you nodding. Is there anything you want to add?
That was perfect, Mayor. Okay, it's a good summary, but it is required as under the new law, so we have to adopt it like every other town in the state of New Jersey.
Should I abstain or recuse myself?
Just recuse. You can recuse. That's fine. You can stay here. It's fine. Just don't vote on it when we vote. It's fine.
Any questions, comments from the committee?
Just want to say that once, the application opens up in the future, we should post about it on the township Facebook page and the social media page so residents know about it. Also, if we could have any info sessions or some kind of assistance, so, if they need help navigating through the application process, we should offer that as well. I feel.
Yeah, and I don't know if you had a chance to read the resolution, but it is pretty detailed as to all the
Yeah,
steps and where we
I just
have to
wanted
post
to-
it and to make sure that it's reaching everybody. But yeah, I agree.
So as you're aware, we have Acuity, and Acuity will handle all of that. That's their job.
That, they do that marketing, they qualify, yes.
They will help with anything you need.
And how often do we get updates from them, the township?
Well, there's nothing really going on.
Do we have-
Only if there's anything going on. So until a project goes through, we won't hear anything from them.
It'll give you updates as applications come in. They'll actually give you, excuse me, updates as they qualified candidates, then they'll do applications, but then, which we'll have to get to, we'll have to have someone write, they're not a realtor, so we'll have to have someone write that, so I might have to partner with a realtor company later, I'm not sure. Does it? Or if then developers have to, but once they qualify, they still have to be sold by an MLS, so.
And I do think at some point we should talk about anyway, having just to introduce it to the public what they look like.
Yeah.
So people But yeah, once they go out, I think we should get, like monthly updates on how the application.
I think once we are further down the road, we should probably have an info session for the public too,
Yeah.
to educate them on the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think we're quite there yet.
No, no, down the road.
All right, can I get a motion and a second on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call, roll call.
Do the roll.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Ms. Codestale?
Yeah.
Am I calling him? No.
No, just notice he's.
Okay,
recused for this.
so Mr. Leaky will recuse himself, Mr. Pamphili,
Yes.
and Mayor Hughes.
Resolution 2026-05-04, requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation under NJSA 48:4-87 for ticket or ticket 2026 seatbelt mobilization in the amount of $7,000 in the 2026 municipal budget. This is something that we do every year. It's a grant for the police to be able to do enforcement. And I do just want to clarify, Karen asked me to clarify for the committee's knowledge, that any officer participating is going to get an extra $70 per hour. That's what's reimbursed under the grant. It's not their typical overtime rate.
It's not,
Is it-
I just want to be clear, it's not extra. That's just their hourly rate.
Instead
It's
of-
considered overtime when you work the grant. So, they're gonna get $70 as the overtime rate per the grant.
Would we increase patrolling during the camping period?
I'm sorry.
Would there be increased patrols during the camping period?
Yes, exactly, between May 18th and May 3rd.
But that's all covered under the grant.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2026-0505, requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation under NJSA 48:4-87 for Burlington County 2025 Municipal Parks Development Grant in the amount of $125,000 in the 2026 municipal budget. We were awarded this last year. This is just technical adding it into the revenues. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2026-0506, resolution authorizing the municipal tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with PL 1994, Chapter 72. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2026-0507, resolution authorizing refund of tax overpayment for 8 New Gold Lane, known as Block 600, Lot 23.02. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2026-0508, resolution authorizing the release of performance guarantee for Haverford Associates LLC project on Ellisdale Road. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to our bill list. Any questions or comments from the committee?
I had one that was answered regarding the tree cutting invoice, but that was multiple trees.
Yeah, it was a big job. I drove out there when they were doing it, over on Harrison. And it was a lot of work. Can I get a motion in a second on the bill list?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving into reports and discussion. I am going to jump to do the 250th anniversary parade discussion first. Chief, do you want to provide us an update on the road closures?
So the event is scheduled for Saturday, June 6th. The parade itself will be from 11 on. We will need to start closing roads, start beginning at 10 a.m. an hour before. So we'll start that setup at 10, probably by the time the parade finishes at 1, breakdown will take till about 2. So we expect the majority of the closures to last between 10 and 2. Those are the main roadways of Main Street and Chesterfield Crossings. After that, after the parade is finished, we'll keep the closures on Front Street and Church Street just to secure the green in Crossings. But the other closures of Main and Chesterfield Crossings, that'll all open up to allow for traffic. I'm sure you put out on the internal forum, you have probably a good sense of what we got going on. Application's been made to the county for approval on their end, and we've received those approvals. So we're good to go. If there's any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Chief.
Our wonderful parade committee, are you here in case there's any questions, or do you have things that you want to add?
We're here to answer questions if they pop up. the staging of the event, when you think about vehicles, antique tractors, cars, will be on Rosewood. Because it's a long, semicircular roadway, and it's conducive to staging.
Mm-hmm. Carl, if you're going to say any more, can you please come to the podium?
We want to see how handsome you are.
I want to know for the record, I only made you wait 16 minutes too, not the 20 to 25 last minute.
Actually, 15, so 7:01.
You're great.
You are, and you're wonderful, and we're grateful. I saw on Facebook the signs. I'm gonna order my shirt that I saw has been added to the Historical Society's page. Super excited. I know it's gonna be wonderful. Grateful for your work.
Real strong, nice, amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone, the police chief, Rachel, everyone I've dealt with, has been very helpful, supportive. Certainly, it's gonna be a great event. Yeah, if you have any questions for us.
Keep it sunny,
We're
right?
Oh,
excited.
yeah, the weather, yeah.
Fingers crossed for the weather.
Rain date's the 14th.
We don't want to talk about that.
That's not happening.
No,
Anybody up here have any questions? Well, thank you guys for coming out.
See you
Enjoy what
then.
you're doing.
I think it's great. So.
All right, Joe, moving back to you with our engineer report.
I just have a few updates. Obviously, Martin Road was paved. Contractor's working on restoration work, signs and striping. They should be done shortly.
And you're going to check the topsoil.
I will check.
Please check the topsoil.
And I've requested to Joe to schedule his walkthrough with me, so I will also put eyes on it.
I'll coordinate with you on Monday.
Thank you.
We'll go together. Also, DOT announced next year's municipal aid grant, they're due July 1st. So I'll get with Troy to get any other recommendations for what road to do next. We have, I know Troy has a list. We also have some road condition surveys that we've done over the years. So we'll prioritize that and make a recommendation.
What's the date that they were due?
July 1st.
Could you speak to Troy before our next meeting at the end of May and come with a couple recommendations that we can discuss as a committee and make a decision then?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you, and thank you for having that info.
Next item that I have an update for is we took bids on item number 7, that's the trust development grant, they just spoke about, get passed resolution 4 for $125,000. We took bids on 7, and low bidder was Richard Barrett, who did the parking lot and the pad. He was the low bidder for the base bid. We did set this one up so that there was multiple alternate bids, just in case the path work wasn't enough to fulfill the grant itself, so we had some extra money available, so we talked about adding to pickleball courts at Beckman Park, basically in that little box that's left over from the tennis courts where the pickleball courts are now. To do everything, including the pickleball courts, which is the surfacing, striping, fencing, additional asphalt, nets and posts, the bid was $135,000. So we're about $10,000 short in the grant. To do that, I didn't write a recommendation of award yet, until I discuss it with you guys, but, that's my recommendation, is to do that, if there's money available.
So I'm gonna ask my question
Please,
because it's related. At the last meeting and the one before, we brought up that the Fenton Lane path is not in good shape and it was recently done within the last year. There's grass sprouting through. So I guess I would be concerned awarding it to the same group if it's a quality issue. Have you had a chance to take a look at
I
it?
did have a chance to take a look at it. It looked like, I didn't see grass growing through, and I walked it from more or less the entire path. But definitely around the whole backside where you talked about originally. I saw some cracking along the edges, that I could have him repair. But I didn't see any grass growing through the path itself.
Did you look near the playground area by the flagpole, that whole area, maybe from the playground to the parking lot? And then there's a couple, it's pretty prominent there. I mean, there's grass growing through in several areas. And then if you go back, like by the baseball parking lot, there's 2 specific spots where there's grass that has sprouted through, very isolated, small spots, but it's definitely growing through.
Maybe we can look at those next week as well.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, because I walked the whole path, I didn't see.
I will say, this contractor historically, has done a good job.
Okay.
I've never,
My
Yeah,
only
because-
experience is seeing how the path is.
The
holding
grass
up
is,
and
the
it's
grass
not
is
good.
growing through.
I'm just saying, we have to look at that, but
Well,
historically.
we'll look at that on Monday.
Yeah, and if it's not a quality issue, but something else, then no issue, moving forward with them doing this other work, but I do want to make sure.
Yeah, I want to make sure I see the specific spot before I suggest what my call is. There could be multiple. Nonetheless, it's still under maintenance bond, so repairs to be made. And I agree with Lee, historically, this contractor, he did both of those projects and he also did
What Pine Road?
Yeah. So historically, it's been a good contractor, so,
It's been around a long time.
yeah, and I'm sure whatever issues we have, they will rectify.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that's the recommendation. I'll wait for direction before we award. We have 60 days to award it, so we don't have to award it immediately, but
Knowing the popularity of pickleball court and knowing we have money in the rec fund, I believe we can use it for that. I would endorse
I
it.
would think so too, that, I mean, for that small extra amount of money that we have in the rec fund, I think that we would want to complete the project.
Okay, so that being said, we would have to do an ordinance for that. We could put that, if there's not already like a contingency somewhere that pickleball falls into one of the other ordinances that we did. But if it doesn't, then I'll have the ordinance on for the next meeting, because we'll need 2 meetings for that, and then we could award the beginning of June.
I'll send the recommendation over so that you have that in your pocket and whenever ready to
Because
pay.
we have to be getting an efficiency of doing them both at the same time, probably a significant efficiency from him.
Doing,
The pickleball and the paving at the same time.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
probably-
That's why we added it in.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one alternate that was literally just the asphalt for pickleball.
Yeah.
Just because we knew we had to pay the contractor, and we may have some of the funding available. The way it turned out, he could build a whole court for an additional 10,000, so.
Awesome.
It makes sense. And then, we're gonna close out the dugout, like I said, the contract replaced everything, so. We still have a little bit of money, so we'll close that contract out, we'll hold it until we make repairs. So. That's all I have.
Hogback Road, when's that starting? Because it's falling apart.
Currently scheduled for June 22nd, the last day of school.
It's-
It
it is-
may be there the week before doing some inlet work, but the paving work won't happen until school's out, and they may even bump that day depending on how the weather shakes out between now and then.
Because we're gonna have to clear out, there's some cold patch, there's a couple 3-inch, hot patch, but 3-foot, 2-foot areas, especially equidistance between, Ward and High Bridge.
Okay,
There's some big potholes,
really bad spots
like
now.
really bad.
And you have the company notifying residents of the timeline again?
They will, we'll notify them, I think, a week ahead of time.
Okay.
Once I have a confirmed date, just in case it changes, again, just ahead, we'll set out some Karen, you can make it from the website, or you want to send it out.
Perfect.
And when you talk to Troy, would you just make a mention of that?
Yeah, I'll direct him to, fill the whole. That'll be fun for me.
Hot patch, not cold patch. Cold patch just comes back out.
We can call them in the morning and talk to them. All right, thank you, Joe.
He's this.
Then we can call him Monday. Chief, what's into you again? First responders say road closures?
As far as the road closure itself, it's very small. It's Saddle Way, just between Old York and where that portion of Saddle meets with the old roundabout. So it's a very small portion, just in front of STEM Academy and Fun Days, that small little section there. So that'll be the area to be closed. There'll be no impact to the oval roundabout. That'll be, the traffic will flow fine on there. That's it for the closure. I can't really speak too much on the event, maybe George has some information on, I don't.
She said to get vendors, some of the shops, they want to do things on the sidewalks and out in the street, they want to have displays, have sales. They're encouraging some type of salute to our first responders.
Okay.
Do they have a date for it?
It's in October. The reason we're doing it now is so if we give her the green light, she's got time to get vendors. I believe that was a problem last year. So, one example.
Do you need approval from us right now?
Yes, if you approve the plan, then I can tell her that she can go ahead and start getting folks to fill the spot.
Is everybody on board with the plan to approve?
Yes.
All right, can I get a motion in a second to approve that plan? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm excited to read that Porch Fest is rescheduled for November 7th, 2026. I was very bummed when it was rained out this past weekend. I'm glad they were able to reschedule. Rachel, is there anything that need to ask for that?
They just, wanted to do it.
Do we need to do it officially?
They do, everything's gonna be the same.
It's just a reschedule. I don't think we have to do it since it's a reschedule.
Oh, you already approved it, right?
Yeah.
We already approved the road
Alright,
closures.
cool. Moving on to speed humps on Buttonwood Street is our next discussion topic.
So there's a resident that lives on Buttonwood that has been asking for this for a while. I reached out to the county a while ago, and they, said they would put them in if we wanted. They sent the letter that you all saw. So George and I met with Mr. Roger last week, or the week before
It was
that.
2 weeks ago.
There's two things that I'd like to see happen. Number one, I mean, I've spoken to a few residents on Buttonwood who seem to be in favor of it, but number one is, I do think we need to send a written letter to everyone on, from front to Buttonwood, or even a little bit further down. To make sure they understand. And the other thing is, looking at the letter that the county sent, I wanted to request, Joe, if maybe the traffic engineer in your office could also look, because when I saw that letter, it was kind of raised a concern about if it was too close to the turn, it might create a safety issue. But it's, I think we're gonna put it back to, you probably don't know Buttonwood Street, but across from where there's a big empty space, so it wouldn't be far from the intersection there, but I still would like to see, maybe have your office.
Have our opinion on its location.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to give a second look over what the county traffic engineer said, because the way he worded it was a little concerning, so I just want to make sure that.
Why should we go against the county traffic engineer on their road?
Well, because most of the people on Buttonwood do want it, so I think we need to, you know, that's why I'm saying, I don't want to go against him, but I
I
want.
get it, but it's their road.
Well, no, but but he also said we'll agree to do it.
If they're indemnified. Look, I support Dana's
Yeah.
application. I should have been done when they paved it. But this is the first time I've seen the county creating a safety concern, because they talk about the distance from the deceleration, and it cannot be a certain, and I thought it was 10 foot for every mile, but they're saying it's not, so it's a 25-mile road. I thought it was 250 feet. I think they said 150. Yeah.
Well, I just.
Yeah, I agree it should be
Get
there.
a second opinion from Joe's that we can make this.
I think it's important to get the second engineering, because the county engineer did raise a very valid safety concern in the email, which I don't want to overlook. And then I agree with you, Denise. I think we just need to make sure all the other residents.
Oh,
are on board.
absolutely.
And
Right.
sometimes we get ourselves into trouble just making
No,
decisions
no,
off
I
one.
wouldn't go with that yet, 'cause
There is a little history here. There was originally one prior paving project that was approved, and a person on Front Street, because of the noise of it, petitioned against it. I'm Buttonwood Street, I'm saying the wrong word.
Yeah, there was supposed to be 3 speeds.
And again, so maybe the residents have changed, but there was a lot of opposition.
Well, I've spoken to 3, 4 of them, and they've all said yes, but I do want to have it in writing, and I do want to make sure that where it's being put, because I don't think when George spoke to the county engineer, it was specifically where it was going to be. So I think we just need to answer those questions, and then we're going to move it.
You tried other traffic calming methods, I guess, like radar, the speed radars and.
Well,
That didn't work.
yeah, you guys did a pretty lengthy, you had traffic studies. and-
Yeah, we did a bunch of studies out there. The latter two of which we feel confident about the results. Our equipment needed a firmware update, but subsequent to that update, we did a couple studies. Both were about 8 or 9 days apiece. So there's probably about roughly 18 days of study that we did out there. I do have those numbers if you're interested in hearing them. I don't know. Yeah, I know that,
Mike, can you just talk to, or have the mic lean towards you?
we had for our study from the 10th through the 19th of September in 2025, we had an average speed of 29.5 miles an hour. And our 85th percentile was 33 miles an hour, meaning 85% of vehicles were traveling 33 or less. In our follow-up study from the 23rd of September through the 1st of October, we had an average speed of 27.7 miles an hour and an 85th percentile 31 miles an hour. Combined results for both those studies, average speed 28.6 miles an hour and an 85th percentile 32 miles an hour. That's the numbers that we got on those studies.
So I think if we poll the residents and then get the information clarified, so, and if we could even tell the county where exactly, you know, because I'd like you guys to kind of give us a better idea of where we should put it to.
May I ask Chief one thing? Are they in range? I appreciate, in my mind, they're within a tolerable range. I don't know, but in terms of law enforcement, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, all those numbers are reasonable.
And I assume they do an average of every car that passed. That's why you have an average speed and then
Well, the average speed is the average.
all cars. Yeah.
Speed's fine.
Is there a way, I'm just curious, is there a way to break that to peak and off peak? I have a feeling it goes up significantly after dark.
Yeah, I would have to ask the officers that are
Okay.
more versed in that equipment than I am, but there may be. I don't know exactly how the information is broken down.
Okay.
So it sounds like a good plan. Last on our discussion list, Memorial Day Remembrance. We are having our 4th annual Memorial Day Remembrance Monday, the 25th at 10 a.m. It's here, it's over by the 9/11 Memorial, back there. It's wonderful. I've been able to attend the last 2 years. It's a beautiful ceremony that the Boy Scouts, help put on. I highly recommend anybody who's able to attend. Rachel, I'm looking at you if there's anything else that you need.
Dan Wolverton, he emailed everyone the script this morning, and just the two speakers, and he did these, and Matt spoke last year, so 2 speakers, and then if you wanted to reach out to one of the pastors, Pastor from Cross Point has done it for the past couple of years, but,
I'll do this.
okay, because of somebody's different. Okay. And then Danny pretty much in the book that everything covered.
Wonderful. They do a wonderful
I
job.
think we just have to break it out here at the memorial though. I don't think that they had it at the 9/11. No, it was over there? Was it at the 9/11 last year? No, it was at this memorial. Okay. At the flag.
Okay, right on the front.
Great.
All right, sounds good. Moving into reports of administration. I just have a couple of things. We have 2 community policing initiatives I just want to quickly talk about. Saturday from 12 to 2, we are having Home with a Cop. The chief and his department will be over at the playground by the DPW recycling yard. We will have an ice cream truck with ice cream. It's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be really nice weather, so hopefully we'll get a nice turnout. And then also, I guess I really like ice cream. We are also doing a new initiative with the police department. Mondays, located over in the shops, donated a ton of ice cream coupons for our police department to be able to hand out to kids who they see. It's caught being good, in quotes, but who are, helping a friend or wearing their helmet or doing, some type of positive community service or something like that. And it's just really to encourage, relationships with our police and our residents and, for children to interact and have good experience with our police department. And I'm very excited about it. So you'll see them out and about.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Thank your officers for doing that. I think that's
We
great.
start seeing Kevin with ice cream cones every day. We're having-
Yeah.
You hear that, Mike, right? Kevin has ice cream cones every day. I'm gonna ask questions.
And then, I don't want to say your thunder, but our Home with a Cop, it overlaps with the rigid recycling plastics that the Environmental Commission does twice a year. That runs from 10 to 2. Home with a Cop is 12 to 2, but they're both over at the same place. It's a great time to get rid of any of your rigid plastics that are sitting around. I know I've a ton.
That's this Saturday, right?
This Saturday. All right, moving on to reports from the Township Committee.
I have a couple of things. One, just real quick, is the Alliance is doing their first this week, Music in the Square. Signs should go up this week, or they should have gone up. I guess they didn't have a meeting. So anyway, it's May 20th, and together, pick up more than it's gonna be fine, so. I hope they will support that. The other thing is that, in terms of the HPC ordinance, I had spoken with, Andrea Tangi, who works for the state, historic preservation office. And, there's been a lot of information floating around about that. Some of it's accurate, some of it's not. And I'm going to get from her what exactly. So I had a conversation with her, but she did offer if we would allow her, and I think we should invite her to come to our next meeting so that she can give us information. We can ask her questions, public can ask questions, and we can get a really clear idea of what exactly we need to do moving forward. We have the ordinance pretty close to being ready. I'm hoping we can have it for an introduction next meeting. I would like to have her come and give us information as to what we need to do moving forward, so that we can go into it with our eyes wide open and have all our questions answered, like the expert from the state. So I would like to just get everyone's.
I would rather be in a workshop.
Yeah, I have no issue inviting her to the workshop.
I don't have any problem, but I'd rather be in a workshop format.
Would you be able to do like a 6 p.m.?
I didn't go into detail with her about time, but I would imagine probably earlier the better for her.
Yeah.
Well, I would think, just being that she's making the evening of rather than coming late. So, yeah, I think we could do a workshop then, right? Just announce it tomorrow.
The next meeting is already scheduled a workshop, so always, or the fourth Thursday is always a workshop at 6, unless we cancel.
But we'll only have it if she can attend, so I
Oh,
guess we
absolutely.
confirm that when we'll officially schedule it.
So I'll reach out to her and tell her, or if you and I go, you know, chat to her, I guess, to attend.
Thank you.
And then now the public. And I'd also like to send the ordinance to her to look at, and then to, also to the people that were on the committee.
They're going to the committee, they're going to the entire population. We're not just the HBC, it doesn't exist, so if we're sending out, it's going to everybody.
I haven't seen it
Well, I
yet.
mean,
Yeah. I'm
we
not,
had authorized a long time ago
Yeah.
to do a wide range of people from the community
Yep.
looking at this.
but I'm not sending it to an individual group. If we're going to share it, we're going to share it with the general public, everybody. That's all I'm saying, because it doesn't
That's
exist.
not what we typically do with ordinances, though, is we don't normally.
But the
send it
HPC
back.
doesn't exist. We talk about this every day, so how do we get it to the HPC? Because they
Not
don't.
to the HPC, to the committee that was meeting to review the ordinance.
I have no issue with it going out widely to everybody. I mean, the more
Well, I
feedback
don't
I
have
get,
any
the better.
issue either, but we've talked in the past about sending out all our ordinances for people to look at, and we never have done it, so. Which I think in a lot of cases we should.
They do have, it does happen now. They're on our agenda packet, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for doing that, by the way.
So we can, yeah, okay.
I think we should meet with her. I think we should talk to her before we do anything, or we'll have
Okay.
anything to do.
Yeah, because she might have some, yeah, I do want to at least have her look
I was,
at it.
I was gonna agree with that, that before we send it out to all these people, let's first have the state look at it, talk to us if we can make any tweaks before.
Yes,
It's almost like at that point ready as like an
Yeah.
introduction.
okay, so, we'll reach out and hopefully.
Yeah, and I'd like to do it, I mean, I like when we had our informal workshops, we can do them in that room,
Mhm.
that way the public can really be a little more involved rather than us sitting up here.
I agree.
My opinion, I said it last meeting, I said the meeting before, and I'll say it at the meeting before, and I'll say it again tonight. I want to work on the village board zoning more than anything.
Well, it's all part of one.
No, it's not. The village zone exists 130.21 and 130:3.
Well, here again, there's a lot of information that is not.
It's
that we
an
need to get
existing
clarified.
ordinance. There's not misinformation. It's an ordinance that's on the books.
The ordinance on the books covers Chesterfield and Crossway.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So we have to work on that to refine it, to do what we do to build the bridge that we've all talked about. So before we worry about creating a new ordinance for a very small portion of the population, we should work on the large ordinance that covers the vast majority of the houses in the district. You don't, I mean, wouldn't you agree to that?
that requires doing a survey.
the HPC ordinance, not the village, I'm saying, so you have a streamline to get to the village ordinance aligned.
Let's have her
I
come
was
and
talking.
explain to us. I'm sorry. but
Okay.
Explain to us the process, because I think we need to get better understanding of the process.
Okay, other reports from the township committee?
Just want to take a moment to thank everyone who helped make this year's Green Fair a huge success. There were a lot of participants, vendors, local organizations, families, students who gathered, and it was a fun community-focused event. I also would like to thank all the members of the Green Team, all the volunteers, our public staff, work staff that was there to help us, and Rachel for all your help in putting this all together. Much appreciated. Thank you. And then, of course, about the rigid plastics, the recycling.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that Rebecca.
And the Green Fair was wonderful. Saruchi's being humble. She does so much work behind the scenes. Her and the Green Team, it's a wonderful event that it's really, Rachel helps a ton, but it's community led, and it's volunteers and it's Saruchi, and you guys did an amazing job. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Although we do need a bigger
Yeah.
team, so if anybody knows.
We need more volunteers for sure.
Next year, there's about 4 or 5 of us. Saruchi really went over the top.
Thank you.
Anything else, township committee? Deputy Mayor? All right, administration?
Just a couple things. Our attempt to obtain an Amazon locker in town took a hit. The location that the property manager had designated got turned down when they did their site visit. So she's going to look for another spot that will satisfy Amazon. But this is some process to putting it through.
I want to be clear that I'm not going to, I know it sounds like a silly thing, the Amazon locker, but it will make such a difference in the quality of life of especially our crosswinds, but our residents. We're not going to give up on this. We're going to keep working through her. If she's not able
I
to get
would
it,
never consider it there.
if she's not able to get it done, we will escalate it up the food chain.
I feel for our shop owner she's really
I call
trying.
these
The property manager. She's really doing her best, but they probably get lots and lots of requests for locations that they're very discriminatory.
Maybe we could ask them for some specs, because maybe, I think that to me is the most obvious location, but maybe if we got specs, there might be another location.
I think it's probably the exact location on the property that she chose, which may not be property enough and easily accessible as some others.
As a backup location, that's primary because it's closer. The parking lot would not be a bad location here on that side.
Here?
Here.
I'm not saying it's not ours, but you have the police department, you have lights, you have security, you have surveillance.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying as a backup, I would absolutely,
That's what I mean, if that would meet their criteria.
and that is correct. I mean, even Deputy Mayor Lake did have that idea first, so I'm still with
Well, she's going to give it her shot. If she gets shot down again, then we'll try.
Yeah.
Yep.
That might be the perfect solution.
Today, we submitted the Farm Trail Specialty Crops Grant application. It only came in on Tuesday and gave me all the information so we could put it into the application. And we got the finishing touches today, so that's in. The Community Energy Planning Grant that Saruchi had spearheaded some time ago, we got notification probably a month ago that we were getting the award. They still haven't approved our application. So we're just waiting for them to do their administrative review. It's gone through one phase. Now it's in the director's hands. Hopefully we'll get the okay on that and we can approve the agreement so they can begin that process.
Thank you for staying on top.
Yeah, we were getting concerned that we didn't want to miss, because there's a timeline after the approval of the agreement is available, but we haven't missed that. Coincidentally, with the same night that we're passing our filming ordinance, this week I had contact by 2 different folks from Netflix that are looking to film in our area a series. I wanted to put the title of it out. I didn't recognize it, but the company is going to be doing filming in Wrightstown. They're looking for a location that they can have one day to park their staff vehicles, some other company vehicles, and trailers. they thought our parking lot would be a good location. And the date that they're looking for is June 12th. It's a Friday. I listened to what they're looking to do. They said it would be one long day, and they are looking to do some roadway filming in town. Possibly on Ellisdale, onto Harker, to 528, and possibly back up, some type of route there that they may want to engage in here in the town. I told them that I would talk to you about, in principle, whether or not we're interested in renting out our lot. That is a day that our staff are working half days. It's summer hours. It's a Friday. I told her that a rain date would be a problem if it wasn't another Friday, but that I would first just see if there was any interest for the governing body. We would rent out the lot. I don't have a number in mind yet. I would do some checking around, talk to some folks.
Sure, they got 2,500 a day in Hightstown about 3 months ago.
Okay, so,
And that was about 60 cars.
okay. And they would have about 70 out here.
70, so it's
70
close.
vehicles.
Let's
Right.
go on high, I mean, let's go and double or triple that and let them,
I mean, I had to come in, I had 10 days. So if they only do one day, you probably get more return on one day.
but yeah, I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't.
Oh, I don't see any gas. I do see any gas.
The only downside, and we discussed it, is I don't want our
It's not in
residents
there
to be
for the
unduly
parking lot.
inconvenienced if they do have business to conduct here.
I
So
know.
we would have to reserve some spots in the front,
You know,
or at least a half a day. The employees, we would all park in the police lot. I talked to the chief, that would be fine. So we would still keep spaces out there so folks can come in and do their business, and then for the rest of the day.
I asked this, recycling yard's closed on Friday. Would that parking lot not satisfy 70 cars up to the first aid squad?
I don't think it would take all of
Okay.
those. This has about 69 spots out here. So, and I don't know that they're going to be walking across the road.
In my opinion, it's found revenue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so if
absolutely.
it's all right with you, I'll engage with them and see if it works out to our liking. And there's some other fees. If they film in town, we're gonna use our new ordinance. We'll have a permit fee. We'll take all those other measures.
Sounds good.
And that's it. Thank you.
Moving into public comment part 2, same rules as part 1, start with your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Can I get a motion in a second to open public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolyn Buchanan. I live at 464 Main Street. I'm going to share some thoughts tonight as a resident in a historic home. I'm going to modify actually some of my feedbacks and try to understand all the various pieces. But first thing I just want to say is thank you. I think it's a great idea to have someone from the state come and speak with you so you can really have all the information moving forward. I think a lot of residents kind of felt caught off guard and surprised by the recent suspension. They didn't understand why that happened, why that's happening now, wasn't in the past, etc. So I think we're really just looking for more information and answers to those questions. Also, again, 6 months does seem like a very long time. A lot could be fine, but a lot could go wrong. So again, we kind of want to know why it's so long, what's involved, why this pause now. And also if there's any kind of protections we can provide in the meantime. So even if the HPC is suspended for the applications that would have gone before then, so the planning board, basically we just want something, right? Kind of seems like a lot's in limbo. So there are concerns there. Also about notification for residents. So again, I guess you have a 6-month end date, but how I know how clear that is this something that's going to be pushed back farther? People need to know, right? And then things could be really awkward when things are reinstated, right? People might not realize that they then have to go before the HPC when it comes back, et cetera. So just, I think a lot of residents are looking for clarity and more information. Hopefully the upcoming workshop can help answer some of those questions. For a lot of people, I would say, feel confused and concerned. So we would like more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scroll Brown again. On the HBC matter, I'm encouraged to see that committee is moving forward. I think the workshop is a great idea. You know, the state can offer a lot to address the issues. And some of the concerns about how legitimate the process was when announced and so forth. And there's double standards in terms of if you're dealing with land use and announcements of those type of decisions, and historic preservation. Totally different set of standards and how it's done. Sometimes it's allowed by paper, newspaper ad, sometimes it's allowed by 200 notice. So that may add to the confusion, but I really would, just say to the committee that, to my knowledge, everything was done above board. No doubt in my mind. You had great experts. You talk about Tony Nelson, Mark Peyton Hintz, the wonderful names in forming the idea of this. And it always was the concern that who they report to, that they would not be a freestanding group, and they don't. They report to the planning board, and the planning board makes decisions on what they recommend. So I still think you have a good framework, good chassis. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up going back. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Jill Baraka, it's Walker Street Drive. Lover of chocolate ice cream.
Come out Saturday, we will have it.
Also, don't forget about Amazon, log grab the box, it's 2024. Local businesses. So I'm a member of the HPC and just wanted to share a small amount of experience based on my experience, and also to counterbalance anything negative you might have heard from a small minority. In 2025, there's 14 applications, and most are easy peasy. They move through, they're quick, they go to the planning board, very simple. And so we do the best we can with the materials we're given. But, there's gaps. So we welcome the new ordinance. The changes that I previewed looked good. And certainly need the survey and inventory. So what I ask is that it moves along quickly because like was said earlier, that the gap is leaves people in confusion, and so we want to stay active. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service on the HPC.
Good evening. My name is Don Zahut. I live at 468 Main Street. And hearing some of the presentations about the 250th celebration, I felt made me feel a little older tonight, knowing that I was here for the bicentennial, living on Main Street. I didn't feel so old, this old since my granddaughter asked me if I personally knew George Washington. I have two basic comments I'd like, or topics I'd like to discuss with you. First, I'm personally a little disappointed that we have 180 day delay in any actions with the HBC. It would have been nice if it acted informally, only because I think a lot of the new residents are unaware of the township's interest in historical preservation. And I know that they're unaware that there are alternatives to some of the building materials and techniques they wish to employ. If they had a little guidance, even informally and non-coercively, it would have been helpful. So the other topic I'd like to discuss with you, I'd like to go back to 2024. And I'm going to presume to speak on behalf of my neighbors who, in July, we appeared to the township to ask for your help, and I'd like to renew that request. In July, we came and asked for help to improve the infrastructure, the public improvements in town. And I explained then that living in town for 50 years, I don't recall any public improvements in Crosswick, other than the drainage project, the small sidewalk project, and the sewers, which were obviously put in to effectuate the PDR plan. In July, I listed a number of items, and Matt Lick was the mayor at the time, and he was gracious enough to accept our invitation, and with George Jackson, met at my house with a number of our neighbors, and we had an opportunity to discuss the overall scope of improvements that we felt were lacking, missing, not being repaired. And we took a little tour and looked at some areas that were suffering from poor drainage along the county road and missing sidewalks, deteriorating curbs. And we talked about the general unpleasantness with the growing number of large trucks that were coming through town. Well, subsequent to that meeting, in September, Matt Litt and Mr. Jackson arranged a meeting with county officials. And there was the county engineer, Mr. Joseph Brickley, the county planner, Danukas, and other county officials. And it was a very interesting meeting. The county explained what they couldn't do and what they could do, but what struck me was their willingness to work with our officials to make application for grants and assistance with traffic control for large trucks, design assistance, and we thought we were going in the right direction. That meeting was held on October 17th, 2024. Now, I'm unaware of what happened and what has transpired since that meeting. To my knowledge, I don't know whether there are any improvements scheduled for Crosswicks. I don't know if you have a capital improvements program that includes any work in Crosswicks. I'm hard of hearing, so I didn't hear the engineer report. I don't know if you have anything planned for Crosswicks, but I'm here to renew our request. Again, on behalf of my neighbors, we'd like to see, and we need some help. You know, I see one of my neighbors reinstalling some slate curbing along Main Street. I don't think that's necessary, and I don't think you would suggest that it's the obligation of homeowners to be putting curbing in on a busy county road. That's just one example. So, what am I asking tonight? I'm asking for a recommitment to include Crosswicks in some form of capital improvements program. Have someone come out and visit with us again. Those of us who live in town can clearly show you where during heavy rains, water from the county road pounds up on private property. To me, that's a big issue. There are sidewalks that are not continuous through town. You'll be walking around town, all of a sudden, the next property, you're on someone's grass lawn. If you have a young family, if you have a baby, and people like to walk in Crosswicks, the least we can do is provide a safe sidewalk around the perimeter of town. So, again, we'd like to see Crosswicks included in a capital improvements program. We'd like to renew some dialogue with the county's engineer and planner to apply for grants which may defray the cost of the public improvements. And I know some of the township committee members have pointed out some of these improvements that were undertaken with that assistance in other towns. One good thing did come about with Mr. Jackson's help. We did have the manhole in front of my house, which was improperly installed, reseated. And I asked that that work be redone because it's driving me and my neighbors crazy. It's still rattling along. Anyway, I thank you for your time. And I have copies of the meeting summaries and letters that we prepared back in 2024. I'd like to give you a copy of those.
George, I want to catch up with you next week for an update on the meeting, and maybe we can figure out next steps with the county.
Bye.
Yeah, I was out. I was out.
Thank you for coming out.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks, Don.
Thank you, sir.
And Don, just so you're aware, George and I had a conversation this morning. I asked him to reach out to the county engineer regarding the PSE&G repair at the intersection. It is still base coat 18 months later.
For you.
I try to look.
the county engineer is supposed to come out and ride around with me in about 2 weeks. He had a hip replacement, so he's supposed to come.
Ask them to fix the manhole.
That's called.
Do you know what that's like?
Well, I can imagine. I walked.
All right, we're still in public comments. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to come up? Yeah, is there anybody online? No, right?
No.
Okay, can I get a motion in a second to close public comment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Dominic, do you have an exact?
No, George?
No executive, can I get a motion in a second to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you everybody for coming out.